Hey everybody, it's here's Ox Bigley, and I'm going to do a review of this. This is Rubies Freddy Krueger Supreme Edition Replica Metal Glove. Yes. That is basically all the information on here. That's on the box. Side just says Nightmare on Elm Street, and the back has a glamour shot of Mr. Fred Krueger himself. So once you get this, now I ordered this off of Amazon, which right now is actually quite cheap. It's sitting at $35.74 plus shipping. If you have Prime, obviously no shipping attached onto that. It will come tied into this. It's a nice flocked plastic case. I've already undid those ties, so this is the glove. Now this is metal. I mean, this is like straight up metal. Actually, see, I have my metal Vegeta pin here. Vegeta, how dare I? Kakarot there. This is metal. Okay, so now I want to do want to show you rather some of the detail. There are some kind of like dirt, splotches, or I guess grease or something. But the metal does have this sort of worn, kind of worn looking, copper, and the blades are, I guess they're steel or something like that. More than likely, this is made out of what's typically referred to as pot metal. Basically, if you see replica swords that are actually made out of metal, but they're not made to be actual swords, that's the same material as this. Also on the inside here, now this, of course they have to put this in here, but the way it is, you might end up getting it on the outside of your hand when you put it on. The tips of the fingers are cut off. It's been a while since I've seen the Nightmare on Elm Street film, so I don't know if that's accurate or not. But then, of course, the dirty pattern, continues on the inside. Of course, the glove is riveted to, to the backing part, the metal. So let me show you what it looks like on. Now this thing is a little finagly. As you can see, this is already like popping out over my hand. So that's easy enough to fix. Just the way that they did it, it could have been done better. So that is it. On not bad. My fingers, I think maybe my fingers are a little bit long for this. I know this one here, the way that they attached the, I don't know how well you can see that, but the way that they attached the blades in, it's not, I thought about maybe running some solder on the edges here to make it look a little bit more accurate, but I'll get into how I want to customize this shortly when I get to some of the other things. And the only reason I mentioned this part here is because my fingernail like rubs up against that and it's scratchy and it's like nails on chalkboard. No pun intended. So this, I mean, it moves quite freely. It closes up pretty tight. There is one thing that I will say of negative about this, and let me just show you this finger here. There's a lot of play, and it's because these bands, the bands are supposed to be, they're supposed to be up a little bit higher at the tips of the fingers, right where your fingerprint is. That's supposed to be where they are, and because of them being down so low, you can't move it past a certain point because it bumps into the other ring that's down here. Even on the box here, you can see right here the way that it's actually supposed to be. So there's one here and then one down there. Like I said about customizing this, maybe dirty up the glove a little bit more. As it stands, for a cheap, fairly inexpensive, especially when I first saw these in like a costume, my local costume world, like 2-3 years ago. And I've been wanting one ever since, of course. These things went up like $50 to $70 I've seen them go for. And you know it is quite heavy because it's metal. So if you're wearing this for a while, you will get like your hand and your fingers will get a workout, no doubt about that. It is something to get used to, especially with the looseness of the fingers. That's something I would like to try to do, is maybe take the band and move it up, or remove this band completely and then maybe add a smaller one to the, you know, closer to the tips of the fingers. Like I said, adding a bit of solder just to the edges here where the blade meets the finger guard. That would be, you know, like a better thing. Maybe scuff up the, you know, kind of dirty up the metal here a little more, because it looks too clean. Granted, they put these like marks on it and stuff like that, which are printed basically, but it looks too clean. This thing should be, you know, really manky looking, and look like it would hurt you without even getting cut by it. It would just, you know, not rust or anything like that. But see, I don't like this. It's just too. And they're all the fingers are like that. But I mean, if you're just quickly doing things, it's too much play to it, and it's gonna limit mobility with this. The bands are going to limit mobility, as well as the fact that it's too loose like that, so you don't have the finesse of exact movement. And something we all know that old Mr. Krueger is about is finesse. So I think that, you know, it would give you tighter movement instead of the. Because see, I have my fingers straight. That should not be happening. Okay. As it stands, as a what, $36 glove on Amazon right now, it's pretty good. It is a good price for the money. Obviously, you can adjust this thing to your liking. I don't know how I would get these bands off to move them, or to tighten them up like that. But I'm sure I could find a way. I'm sure maybe if I bring this to my local hardware store, after they laugh at me, they will be able to tell me what I can do to, you know, to fix this. So I'm kind of concerned just with the kind of metal that this is. I don't know if this is, you know, an actual dark metal like copper. I don't think it is made out of copper. It could be just the same kind of stuff as this, although it does have a different finish to it. So it has a different texture. Kind of rougher. These are very smooth, other than the edges, which I don't know how well you can see that. These were like I don't necessarily mold injected or punched out. These weren't, you know. I'm sure I've seen people on the comments ask basically, can these be sharpened? I'm sure they might be able to take an edge, but you might break the smeggy thing in the process, which won't be good. I mean, it would defeat the entire purpose of having one of these. By the way, it's very rude. Anyway, if you've been wanting, and I've seen higher end one of these, but if you've been wanting a Freddy Krueger glove, one that's metal, one that is made out of plastic, which a lot of costume places are going to have around this time of year. This is a great alternative. I would say grab it up now on Amazon before October hits, and the price will more than likely go up. And also just standing, you know, having this on your hand, if it looked a little bit less clean, like, you know, like I'm wanting it to, you know, it would definitely, you know, look a lot better. But just wearing this and kind of playing around and, you know, all that kind of stuff like that, it is indeed fun. Don't get me wrong. And given, I'm going to assume that the weight of the actual glove that Robert Englund had to wear in the first movie was probably a lot heavier than this. So one thing he said about the way that he had Freddy Krueger standing was kind of like one arm down here like this, almost like a gunslinger. How he has that lean because of the gun. and the weight of the gun, so the weight of the glove and that kind of thing like that. So yes, it is a as I said, for what it is and the price that it is, it's not bad. Again, this is maybe a little bit of modification to it to make it a little bit more screen accurate, or just to your liking, period. Like I was going to say earlier, and I interrupted myself, I've seen a lot of higher end gloves, and you're going to look at probably a good couple $100 for it, but using this as a base, again, $35, $36, not a bad base to start with, and then you can make your modifications. If you're so inclined. If you're not inclined, I'm sure if you're cosplaying, nobody will give a crap. It's just that my nitpicks, like I said, are the very, very... I can fit my other finger in this band. That's how loose that is. So that's my major complaint, and then the fact that it just looks too clean. I almost want to bury this for 3 days and then dig it back up, just to maybe get that good kind of, grimy look to it. Because you gotta remember, supposedly he worked in boiler room at the school or something. I can't really exactly remember. Please forgive me, horror nerds, if I get that information wrong. But so he had that going on. He had the whole issue. He made this in his basement, basically, or not his basement, in his garage. So yeah, it could do with a bit more, lived in look. But like I said, for the price, it's not bad. So I will leave a link in the description. I like wearing this thing. I just wish the control was a little bit better. I'm repeating myself. But also you can do scalp massages, which kind of, anyway. This could be, like I said, sharpened. Maybe more of a defined point on the end, but I think that, the only way you can stab someone with this is if you got the strength of 6 guys and just, So it is indeed, it's the best safe alternative to, getting a legitimate real one. Which I think you use straight razors, any kind you shave with. I'm not sure. I have to go back and watch Freddy's Dead Final Nightmare. But if you want one, go get one. If you're good at modding, definitely have a look at this. It's a great base to start on. And I might post another video if I get this fixed up and get the waggle sorted, and any other kind of customization that I might do with this. So, with that said, stay awake. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.